it's that's the thing with this club is like Danny always says, we're a family, and it is like a family. And although I'm only just a supporter like anybody else that comes in this ground, but I just love to get involved with the club. I love it, you know, and that's why I do it. I just love to be part of the club. I've been coming here, I think my brother Gordon, who still comes now, he comes in here every game to see me. He's got to be in his mid to late 80s now, and he brought me, my first game was in 67, 68. It was the 10th of August. I was 5 days off of my 7th birthday, and we played Wrexham, and it was a draw. As far as I can remember, it was a draw right up to near full time, and then Jack Howarth, who was centre forward of ours, he scored in the last 2 minutes, and I got the bug of the football, and he also become like my hero. And I got photographs of me out on the pitch heading the ball to Jack, and that was actually in the newspaper in 1971. That got put in the newspaper. Yeah, amazing. And he does come down occasionally. In fact, I've got a photo there that I got him and Jack to sign, Joe and Jack to sign an old photograph, and I got Jack to sign my photos as well. Just memories. The memories, you know. Just so many memories of from them right through, you know. We don't get a great deal of stock, because of the club with money and what have you, and we're very careful with stock, because obviously what you don't sell, it's wasted money. But I just like to try and fill it with stuff like this, just to get the colour, keep the colour going in the shop. And just bits and pieces. That handmade club rattle up there, football round, 1948. A guy came in and he gave me that. He said he had that as a kid and his dad made it for him. That's 1948, that round. You wouldn't believe it, but it still works perfectly today.
So that's nearly 100 years old, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's great, And anybody that wants to look at it, have a go with it, programs, like my program collection. A lot of people, it's a bit like when they collect these famous paintings and they put them away. With my program collection, if anybody wants to look at any program, touch it, feel it, read it, whatever, I would never stop anybody from doing that. That's what it's all about. There's no point just leaving them in a cupboard. And that's why I do a lot of this as well, the older programs, because I get program collectors come in, and occasionally, they'll want a program from a certain season, and all this is what people have actually brought in and donated to the club.
How many programs do you reckon you have now, roughly here?
Here, I wouldn't know, Henry, to be fair. I wouldn't even know how many I've got at home. Thousands upon thousands I've got at home. Because my main collection is Aldershot Town, obviously, but I also collect FA Cup final programmes, a lot of Wembley stuff, but it's mainly Aldershot programmes. And I go back, I've got some dating back to the 30s. I've got some war year ones which are quite funny to read, single sheets, away to Tottenham, and there's like a little bit underneath saying in the event of an air raid warning, get under the stand. A lot of good that'd be,
yeah.
But and it's great. I love the going back to the, what should we say, 40s and 50s. The artwork, the actual artwork on the covers, fantastic. Really, really good.
Are you much of an artist yourself? Do you draw or anything? Or?
Only when I'm trying to design an Aldershot badge, that's all, really. Other than that, no, I'm not, to be fair. What
are these kits like up here? So what are these? What are all of these sort of years?
Well, year-wise, the only one I can tell you exactly was 2008, when we won the league. This is an old one, apparently. Where is it? This was the pre-1992. This was one that when we went out of business, some guy brought it in and said, "Did I want it?" I said, "Yeah, great. You know, put it up here, let people see it." And lots of people have actually tried to buy it, but lots of people come in and want to buy them, and I think I've got a double of that one, so I've put a £40, because that was a special shirt celebrating 20 years of the football club, but I've got 2 of those, so I wouldn't mind. And obviously the money goes straight in the clubs. It's like all the programmes, every programme, I sell them at £1 each, and then all the money just goes straight to the club.
What about this signed one there, that's in the middle?
Signed one? I have been so lucky at this club with the opportunities. As you know, I've been assistant kit man, you know, because I said to them, if ever they're stuck for a kit man, I'd love to do it. I know pretty much most about it anyway, but as you know, I've done Barrow away. God, that was a long journey. Chorley away. Just the opportunity. I mean, at Chorley, I sat in the dugout with Danny, the manager, and we were just nattering about anything and everything. And that was when he first told me the story about the NASA story about the guy who said, "Oh, you know, I'll put man on the moon." That was the first time I ever heard that. But the opportunities that I've had, that the club have given me, you know, I'm so grateful, you know, and that's one of the things with this club. If you go to, I mean, we went to Tottenham Southampton last Wednesday, FA Cup, and you're lucky if you can get to the counter in the club shop there, right? Here you can approach the players, you can get to the manager, you can get to everybody and talk to them, and now everybody is so friendly. You know, that's what I found with this club. Everybody's been so friendly, and past managers, you know, have all been friendly, all got time to talk. I don't know if you went to the Terry Brown and the George Borg evening. What a great night that was, you know, fantastic. You won't meet a nicer guy than Terry Brown. He's just such a nice guy. But George as well, you know, George got a bit of bad press. But he's one of these managers, there's a picture of him up there. He wore his heart on his sleeve, his badge. You know, he kicked every ball. On a Saturday, he was out there. He never left the touchline. He was, you know, he was always. You could hear him. You could hear him up the East Bank. You know, some of the stuff you didn't really want to hear. He was a bit young, but you know, just wore his heart on his sleeve and his badge, and he just such a great manager. I thought, you know, a lot of people would disagree with me, but
it's an opinions game, isn't it, football?
Absolutely. It's like, you know, I read Shotsweb, and just lately, so many people, you get the moaners and what have you, and it changes from day to day. I mean, if we win here Saturday, we'd be the best club since sliced bread. You know, on Saturday night on Shotsweb, everybody will be up. This place gets filled. If we win, I'm in here after the game as well. Open the shop after the game. This place will be packed. People will be buying stuff and all that. If we lose, Shotsweb will be doom and gloom. And I bet you not one person will come in here after the game. It's really weird. It really is. It all depends on what goes out there on the pitch. Absolutely.
What hard work we do as well. It just comes back to what goes on the pitch, doesn't it?
It just comes back to always, and it will be the same. This is my opinion, not Aldershot Town's opinion. My opinion is it's all what happens out there on that green square. And if we've got a new ground, we got new managers, whatever, it doesn't matter who we got playing for us. You know, if you've got a winning team out there, you know, I'm always asked, how can we sell more programs? And I've said so many times, just get more people in here. The more people you get in here, the more programs we're selling. And again, it all happens. Whatever happens out there, the club, if we've got a winning team, everybody gains from it. If you lose, it changes dramatically, really, you know. The signed balls up there, you know, lucky enough to get signed balls and things, and they just go up there. It just looks nice and gives people something to talk about when they come in the club shops. There's something different to look at.
I've even seen that little lunchbox there as well, by the looks.
Yeah, the old lunchbox.
How old is that? Do you know?
Early 2000s, so it's probably 20 years old. That monkey up in the top corner, that was mine when I was about 4 years old, and he's actually dressed in red and blue underneath. I brought him in because I wanted to put a shirt on him, and again, when the kids come in, oh, a monkey, oh, a teddy bear, you know, and it gets them involved, sort of thing. And again, so many people have tried to buy it, and I like, you know, and I used to have slogans up there, like I think that one was stop monkeying around, support the shots, you know. But yeah, and old Basil Brush, that was a bit of a joke for me and Shahid, because as you understand, you probably know, we've had a few foxy problems there, which I dealt with, but we will say no more. And that's why he got brought in, because I took pictures of him all around the ground, on the groundsman's lawnmower and all sorts. But it's, again, the kids come in and they see it, and you know, I try to, if I've got any old programs from, say, the game before, any kids come in, I try and say to me, you know, have one of the previous games, take it home and read it, you know, and thumb through it, and they get interest out of it. And I remember when I was younger, I played for a team called Ash Rangers, local club, and when we used to go training, and there was a guy there called Mr. Gibbs. He used to be our trainer, and he was a scout for Nottingham Forest, and I think he'd done something for Leeds as well. But on his travels, he used to pick up like little badges and little bits and pieces and what have you. And on a training night, whoever he saw was sort of putting themselves out and, you know, doing a job like, he'd come up and give you a badge. And he gave me a Leeds United badge once, years and years ago. And I thought the world of that badge. I kept it. I've still got it now. Yeah, and just things like that. It sticks in your mind, you know. And that's another thing why I'm still here today. It's just, I've so many stories and things that stick in my mind about the club through the years. I wouldn't go anywhere else. I'm tattooed, got the club badge on me, you know, and of course my kids as well. Got two of my kids that, well, they're not kids now, they're grown adults, but they follow the shots as well. I never made them support Aldershot. I've got three boys, and one of them just didn't get into football at all, and the other two kept coming. They've been mascots. But whenever they can come, they're here. They give me a hand in here, you know, which is priceless, really. Mark Butler, and he sat down and he was telling us little stories about before he came here, you know, stories in football, you know, this happened, that happened, and oh, you wouldn't believe it, but this, and then of course when he came here to play for Aldershot Town, and again, the priceless little stories, you know. There was a guy who used to run the youth, he used to have something to do with Watford, and when Graham Taylor was at Watford, and you know, he used to sit down and tell us all sorts of stories about things that had gone on and what have you. And you know, just, I said to him, why don't you sit down and write all these stories down and write a book, put it in a book, you know, because there were funny stories, there were sad stories. Of course, not long after we had the chat, Graham Taylor passed away, you know, and he went to the funeral. Yeah, Mark would have so many stories to tell, you know, if he sat down and wrote them, like Bully done. Bully wrote a book, our keeper. It's great, fantastic reading, because he told it how it was. I don't think Terry liked some of it, but you know, they could sit for hours. I could sit for hours, you know. The last game we played here against Lincoln City before we went out of the league, you know, I came up here the next day and I sat in one of the seats and just sat there for about an hour. It was like, obviously you had the traffic, but it was so quiet and that, you know, and just thinking of all what had happened over the years and not knowing whether the football club would never be here again. You know, you'd never have football here. They might even knock the stadium down and build on it. You think,
what was that like?
I cried. You know,
So you get a bit emotional.
I do, mate. I get emotional. I'm a bit silly like that. But yeah, I cried and I just it just don't bear thinking about, really. What would I do on a Saturday?
Well, we all do on a Saturday.
I'd have to go shopping, wouldn't I, with the missus? But no, there's been lots of emotion, like, you know, lots of emotion through the years. Some games, the playoff game we played against Shrewsbury Town at the Britannia. The players at the end of the game, they were just all laid on the pitch. They were absolutely gutted, and I felt for every player, really felt for them, because they'd given their all. You know. I mean, the game before that, we beat Hereford at Hereford to get into the playoff final. Hereford that year were the best club in the league. They were fantastic. And we went to Hereford and beat them to get into the playoff final. And what a day that was, you know. I listened to, you know, everybody talking about the new ground and parts of the ground getting knocked down and, you know, yes, it would be lovely to have a new ground, because as you know, and we all know, this ground just costs so much money, just the upkeep, because it's falling down basically. I'd love to see a new ground, but I'd love to see it done carefully, not have one of these Lego stadiums that, you know, just do it nicely, make a nice job of it. Try and incorporate a bit of old-fashioned football ground as well, a bit like Fulham, Aston Villa. Still got the old bits in as well as the new, you know. That would be nice. I really like Danny. A lot of people disagree with me there. I really like Danny. He's a lovely guy, and the vision he's got, not just that, him and Dave and Anwar, the vision they've got for the club to go forward is really nice to hear. He's not just thinking about day-to-day results. He's thinking all about what we can do, how we can do it, and I think that's great. I think that's really good. The keeper, Mitch, I think he's a really good keeper. I don't think we've got a complete team yet. I think there's a bit of room for to go forward, and just a few of them a bit better. I mean, Kins at the back, you know, he's such. I love Kins. He'll give you 110% every game, you know. So he is probably one of my favourites. I used to be a forward man. I used to always like the centre forward, but I sort of read a bit more into it now, and, you know, watch what they do. The young lad Whittingham, I feel sorry for him. I wish he could get more time, Alfie, because of what he's actually done for the club. you know, the opportunity wasn't there to give him a complete contract, but he still wants to play football, and he's come here, and he gives his all. And I think I really feel sorry for the guy, because I think he should play more. But the difference there is I'm not a football manager, I'm a lorry driver. Obviously, with being assistant kit man, I've been in the changing rooms with them and what have you, and it's really surprising. They all say thank you after the game for what you've done, you know. And even some of them even, you know, they call me by my name. I think, how does he know my name? You know, because obviously I don't just bound it about. So yeah, I've met obviously quite a few of the players. Great lads, really great lads. Lad who's gone out on loan, Shamir. When we were at Barrow, I was loading. Me and Ian were loading the van up, and he come out and he said thank you for Ian. And Ian was one side of the van, I was the other side loading the side door, and I heard him say, "Oh, is Paul about?" And Ian said, "Oh yeah, he's round the other side." And he come out and he shook me out and he said, "Oh, thanks for what you've done today." You know, and I thought, you know, he knows my name out. He's bothered to find out my name. You know, he's come round, he's thanked me. I think I was only pleased because I had the fish and chips. You know, I had to arrange for the fish and chips to turn up after the game. So yeah, things like that. You just think, wow, you know, what a nice thing to be thanked for what you do. As you know, I'm a volunteer. I just do the same. I mean, we got a great team of volunteers here, as you know. You know, I mean, we've got about 7 or 8 programme sellers that are all volunteers. We've got the guys out on the pitches and around the ground, you know. And that's all. I think we just all love the club, and that's why we do it.
Are you in with a shot? For more information, click the link below.
Click here for the next video, click here to subscribe.